Before we begin, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. Feel the stillness settle within you. Feel how the air moves through your body, calm, steady, alive. Because what I am about to share with you is not just motivation, it's transformation. The moment you stop seeking approval, everything in your world begins to change. You stop existing for others and start living for yourself. You stop chasing people who are never meant to stay, and instead you begin to attract peace, clarity, and strength. Because the truth is, approval is an illusion. It's a shadow that disappears the moment you turn on your own light. So listen carefully, because once you understand this, your entire life will shift. Before we begin, take a deep breath. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel your awareness coming home to this very moment. Because what I am about to share with you is not just a lesson, it is liberation. The moment you stop seeking approval, everything in your life begins to shift. The way you walk changes. The way you speak changes. The way you see yourself changes. Because for the first time, you begin to live from truth, not from fear. Part 1. For most of your life, you have been conditioned to seek approval. It starts when you are young. You learn to earn love by performing well, to gain acceptance by pleasing others, to feel worthy only when someone else says, "Good job." You adapt to survive, to fit in, to be liked, to be seen. But what no one tells you is that this constant need for validation becomes a cage. A golden one perhaps, but a cage nonetheless. You begin to base your self-worth on opinions that shift like the wind. And as the world changes, so does your identity. One day you are confident because people praise you. The next day you are broken because someone criticizes you. Your peace becomes dependent on other people's moods, and that is a dangerous way to live. When your sense of value is built on approval, you are never free. You live like a mirror, reflecting everyone around you, but never truly seeing yourself. You laugh when others laugh. You agree when your heart says no. You follow when your soul wants to lead. And slowly, you forget who you are. Because every time you silence your truth for acceptance, you trade authenticity for approval. And approval gained through pretending never brings peace. It brings exhaustion. You start feeling drained because every conversation, every action becomes performance. You are no longer living, you are acting. And when the applause stops, you collapse, because without their approval, you feel invisible. But here is a truth. Most people never realize the approval you are chasing does not even exist in the way you imagine it. Every person sees the world through their own lens, their own pain, their own biases, their own insecurities. You can do everything right and still be misunderstood. You can give your best and still be judged. You can love with pure intention and still be rejected. So why keep handing your peace to people who cannot even find their own? When you seek approval, you give others the power to define your worth. You make them the judge of your soul. And that is not their job. That is yours. The moment you stop seeking validation from others, you reclaim your power. Because when you no longer need permission to be yourself, nobody can control you. People may call you arrogant, they may call you distant, but in truth you are finally free. Freedom does not come from being liked by everyone. It comes from being at peace with yourself. It is the courage to walk alone when others expect you to follow. It is the strength to speak truth even when your voice shakes. It is the peace of knowing that you are enough, even when no one says so. So stop chasing the illusion of approval. Stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant for your spirit. Your value does not rise or fall with opinions. Your worth is constant because it comes from within. When you truly understand this, when you stand firm in your authenticity, the world begins to adjust to your energy. That is when everything shifts. The moment you stop seeking approval, everything begins to realign. The noise fades, the pressure softens, and for the first time you start hearing your own voice again. You begin to walk differently, Not faster, not louder, but freer. Because now you move from a place of peace, not performance. You are no longer chasing people to prove your value. You are no longer bending yourself to earn love or respect. You have understood the simple truth. Approval is not something to be earned. It is something you give yourself. When you stop chasing validation, you start to see who truly belongs in your life. You realize that real connections are not built on constant agreement or flattery. They are built on authenticity. When you no longer fear disapproval, you begin to attract people who resonate with your truth, not with your mask. These are the people who appreciate your presence, not your performance. They love you not for what you can do for them, but for who you are when you are simply yourself. And that kind of energy is rare. It is sacred. The ones who leave when you stop pleasing them were never meant to stay. They were attached to your mask, not your soul. And that is a blessing, because their absence makes space for real alignment. You begin to notice how much energy you wasted trying to impress others, how much of your peace you traded just to be accepted. Now that same energy returns to you. It fuels your creativity, your focus, your growth. You stop apologizing for setting boundaries. You stop over-explaining your choices. You stop feeling guilty for outgrowing people who were never meant to walk your full journey. Because the truth is, growth is not always understood by those who choose comfort over evolution. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to live in alignment with your purpose. And purpose requires silence, not noise. It requires depth, not attention. The loudest people are often the most disconnected, but those who know their truth move quietly because their confidence no longer depends on validation. Understand this. Those who judge you are revealing themselves, not you. People criticize what they do not understand, and often what they secretly wish they had. Your peace will challenge their chaos. Your confidence will expose their insecurities. Your independence will remind them of their own dependence. So do not shrink to make others feel comfortable. Your light is not meant to dim. It is meant to guide, and those who cannot handle it were never meant to walk beside it. Choose your inner peace over outer approval every single time. Because when you stop living for validation, you start living for truth, and truth always leads to freedom. The approval of others is temporary, but the acceptance of yourself is eternal. It is what remains when everything else fades. When you learn to validate yourself, you become unstoppable. Because no amount of rejection can shake you. No amount of criticism can break you. And no absence of applause can silence you. You finally realize that you do not need to be understood to be valued. You only need to understand yourself deeply enough to no longer seek permission to exist as you are. So breathe deeply. Stand tall in your truth. Walk your path with calm strength and quiet power. Because when you stop seeking approval, you stop being a prisoner of perception, and you become the master of your own destiny. The shift you are looking for is not out there. It begins the moment you turn inward and say, I am enough. And that moment changes everything forever.